We have tools and resources and printouts there for anybody to use and to provide education on, both to the community of folks with ABI and also the legal community to provide them education. In tandem with that, we're starting a new support program where people who are involved in any legal situation, if they need support around navigating that, they can contact BIST. And we do have some social work students who will be doing one-on-one work to help people navigate any legal trouble or any legal issue that might come up. So if they've got something in the mail they don't understand, or if they need help kind of putting together documents, those types of things. So that is going to launch February 15th. And of course, we'll be doing an e-blast and social media when it's launching, but I wanted to give it a bit of an official announcement tonight that that is coming down the pipes, and we're really excited to be able to offer that.
That's
so I'm just going to
awesome.
jump on.
Sorry.
Oops. Sorry, Mary.
Sorry. Should I go?
No, stay.
Okay.
Oops, here we go.
Oh.
Okay. We jumped in a little quick. All right, Miss Mary.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So yes, I'm Mary, and there's some names I don't recognize here for our attendees. So I just wanted to say hi. I'm like the old lady of the group. I've been at BIST the longest, and I do our social media and update our website and just generally help out. And I've been working with Melissa on the ABIjustice.org project as well. What I guess I'd like to draw people's attentions to, or maybe remind remind everyone if you're not aware. And sorry, Melissa, I'm just going to share my screen for a sec.
That's okay.
That we have a blog, if I can successfully figure out how to do this, sorry, which is right here. And you can see we put different things on it, like our latest entry was a wonderful poem by our member Roseanne. And then before then, we had a post about the holiday season and so on. So this is a great resource, not only for reading for sure, but it's also great if anyone ever wants to contribute anything to the blog, please contact me. And I will put the link in our chat, but you can also just go to our website. And if you scroll down, all the stories are also here under our stories. So you know, it's great. We've got tips on activities to do when you're at home with a concussion, or like we're all home right now on this stay-at-home order. But a lot of other tips just about living with brain injury and what it's like. And I think I've learned a lot from being the blog editor. So I'm sure others can learn a lot too. And let's stop sharing now. There.
Sorry about that. I was on mute. So Laura is our community coordinator here at Brain Injury Society Toronto.
Hello.
Hi, Laura.
Am I on there?
You are.
Okay. I just see you, so it's okay if I didn't know if you needed me to share anything. Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Laura Bell, and I'm the community coordinator. I started 3 years ago working at BIST on a grant, and my title then was Transitional Support Coordinator. So the grant was, it's actually just finished. So we're in the process of completing the report and taking a look at all the statistics and all the different supports that were made for the BIST community and the members that access the program. So it should be exciting to see the types of numbers that we were able to achieve financially for people, getting them moved over onto more stable financial positions. So basically the grant was looking at helping people in the Toronto area get onto ODSP. So we were able to achieve our goals. We were able to support 75 people in the 3 years. Which is pretty awesome. And now that that grant is completed, we're moving over to a new grant that's looking at technology. I am working on that, and it'll be starting up soon on my end. And the lovely Isabel at BIST is currently working on a technology grant as well. So she'll talk about that. There is another grant that's coming up that we'll be working on, which is the homeless prevention grant. So looking at what it means is, as a community coordinator, is looking at persons in the Toronto area that identify with cognitive issues, cognitive communication issues, brain injury, and are looking for supports, access supports in the city to help them with accessing better medical. It's basically case management for the members in the community. It's looking at helping them establish connections financially. So whether it's getting them onto the appropriate service like ODSP or disability tax credit or CPP. It's also with the grant that's looking at technology, it's helping them stabilize access to technology, which is a huge issue right now during COVID for the persons that are accessing this program. So what we're finding is a lot of people that are financially strapped or don't have a lot of income coming in, a lot of the times their income is going to rent or food security, but there might not be a lot left over for ensuring that their phone bill is covered or that they have a working phone. And in this day and age, when a lot of things have gone with COVID into needing to access doctor's appointments or other types of specialist appointments, legal appointments in a virtual setting, it's been really difficult for people that historically have relied on face-to-face interactions, relied on myself or other workers at BIST to meet them in person, to be able to go over documents, to sign documents, to print documents for them, to attend with them at appointments so that they have the support of someone with them for anxiety purposes or maybe stress purposes, or even just navigating a doctor's office or navigating transit. With all that, those are some of the things that we do. We've noticed, or BIST has noticed, that one of the issues is that a lot of the people that are that don't have financial security lack that access. And so we've been working hard in kind of solidifying how to bring technology to the members that are struggling with it. How do we teach them how to use it and connect and become comfortable with that? And how do we ensure that they have access to it for a period of time that they would need it's not indefinite, but for a period of time where we could stabilize a person for 3 to 6 months so that they can access, say, medical support or financial support with workers in the community, so that they can continue on with therapy or doctor's appointments. So it's really exciting that we get to bring that in. And the one grant has been going on since the summer, since August, and then this new one is coming in the new year here. So I'm kind of switching roles, but basically it's support for those persons in the community that require it. So that's what I'm doing.
There we go. Thank you, Laura. Oops. So today, we were very, very lucky to have one of our board of directors attend today's meeting. I'd like to introduce Mr. Eric Joff. Yeah, just to talk a little bit about his role and what the board of directors does here at BIST.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys, or can everyone hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And thanks for the introduction, Melissa. It's really nice to be here. I guess I have a bit of a boring job, some might say, on the executive board, but I love it. I'm actually the secretary, the executive secretary. So what that means is I take a record of all of our meetings on the executive committee. So executive committees in general have a lot of, I guess, sort of oversight duties. So we're responsible for overseeing a lot of the daily implementation of some of the policies and programs, and just basically making sure that the board is like establishing and maintaining good governance practices. So I hope I'm not putting anyone to sleep with this, but you know, some of the stuff that we do is just making sure that our policies on like ethics or privacy guidelines for members, quality management, and making sure we have people and companies that are going to sponsor us and try to get more sponsors for events and other programs, so we can continue to offer all of the supports and programs and meetings like this. So you know, we just oversee a lot of the different committees that work on development and making sure that this is growing and making sure that everyone's happy, and we're doing the things that our members you know want us to do. So we make sure that we're completing. Oh, that's a nice comment. My partner would disagree with you, but okay. In any event, so any discussions of the executive committee and the board needs to be captured in a way that that makes sure that we have a record of all this stuff. So that's what meeting minutes are, and that is what I do. And again, it's a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. Sorry if I bored anyone.
Not at all. Thank you so much, Eric.
Sorry, Melissa, I don't want to jump in, but
No,
I just
go
want to
ahead.
remind folks, if you have questions about what the board does or what Laura or either of the Melissas do, be sure to pop it in the chat box, or raise your hand and we can unmute you just to make sure you know that you can ask us some questions. Back to you, Melissa.
Thank you. Okay, so next I'd like to give the table to Miss Isabel. Isabel is our ABI Community Connections Coordinator, and she works very closely with Laura Bellin.
So hello, everybody. My name is Isabel. I was hired at BIST and started in October 2019. I started to do a violence impact program for BIST members, for people who have brain injury and also experienced intimate partner violence. That was also like Laura's program, a Trillium grant that ran for a year, and we helped, I think, 40 or more people during that grant to access, to finish up their back taxes and access OW, ODSP. We helped them with housing. We supported them with medical appointments, just like Laura said, for anxiety reasons or just inability to connect. We connected with lots of violence against women's shelters and other community resources. We also referred to a lot of longer term resources such as the ABI network, access, and all kinds of things for people. So now, fast forward, I'm doing the ABI Community Connections Coordinator role, which is, like Laura said, for assisting people to connect with technology. One of the things that we've done is have a small technology drive so that when individuals are unable to access devices like cell phones, tablets, or laptops, we can provide them so that they can stay connected with groups like this, so they can come to our meetings and also attend with their other counselors, with their medical appointments, because as you know, in the COVID landscape, like everything is virtual now. So if you don't have at least a smartphone, those like old flip phones are not going to work for things that we need to have done these days. So individuals are needing better devices to be able to access those things. We're also helping people to access affordable Wi-Fi so that they can access wherever they're at, because what's been happening is places that they typically would access Wi-Fi, such as libraries and coffee shops, are all closed. So we have to be able to try and get people Wi-Fi into their apartments, into wherever it is that they're living right now. So we've been doing that, trying to connect people with Wi-Fi. So Laura actually explained a lot of what I do already, which is amazing because I don't have to do it now. But the other addition to my program, for this program for technology, is I'm also facilitating RAP groups twice a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 1 to 3. RAP is not actually a bunch of us like making rap music. As people have asked me if I'm actually rapping with people, I am not. That is not what I do. We're actually doing wellness recovery action planning, which was developed by a woman in the United States named Mary Ellen Copeland after she watched her mother's 8-year struggle, actually lifetime struggle with mental health and her own different moods. And she had a lot of depressions and a lot of crisis management that she was unable to keep up with. So she started seeing a psychiatrist, and she asked the psychiatrist how she would be able, how people like her and her mother got well and stayed well for long periods of time. So the psychiatrist told her at the time that he would find the answer for her and get back to her the next week when she had her next appointment. So she was very excited for this appointment to find out how people who were suffering from mental health issues get well and have long periods of wellness. And when she returned the next week, the psychiatrist simply told her that doesn't happen. People who are suffering from mental health issues and long-term mental health issues that are chronic don't get well, and they don't stay well, and they just experience multiple periods of hospitalizations in state hospitals, lots of different medications, lots of different therapies, but wellness wasn't a thing. So she ended up developing the RAP plan. So, which is, she did in a very strange way by creating a whole bunch of surveys, which were not typical surveys where you ask a question and it's like, rate this on 1 to 5. She actually asked open-ended questions, and people in the field made fun of her and told her that she'll never be able to get the information that she wants out of these surveys. So what ended up happening is people wrote back to her and wrote all over the surveys, up the sides, on the back, all kinds of things. And she developed the RAP program for people to create their own wellness toolbox and brainstorm wellness ideas with other individuals who are going through mental health issues. For us, it's brain injuries. We also have one that's specifically trauma informed for people who have been through trauma. And they create a RAP plan that they can carry around with them and pull from their wellness toolboxes, and are also able to maintain longer periods of wellness, stay out of the hospital, and have control over what happens in their lives. So basically, she took some very unhappy things and gave people a lot of choices who hadn't historically had choices before. So far we've run the RAP a few, honestly, I don't remember how many times we've done it now because it's been a few, but it's always very well received. The participants really love it because my co-facilitator and I are also very much part of the group. We're not there trying to teach people. We do facilitate the conversation, but we learn just as much as they do. So everyone feels really supported. So far, that's been really successful. So I'm very excited to continue the next 5 weeks, because we just finished our first week today, actually, at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So that's the one thing about this program that I'm doing that's a little bit different from Laura, because this is like specifically kind of my gig. And so that's pretty much what I do at BIST. If anybody has any questions about RAP or wants to have more information, I can certainly guide you to the Copeland Center's website, or just ask me and I'd be more than happy to talk about it with you. So it's nice to meet you all, and hopefully I'll hear from you all soon. Bye.
Thank you, Isabel.
And while you're flipping over, I just want to say how
Yeah.
successful Isabel's program has been with the RAP group. And we were running it once a week, but due to its popularity and the demand for the support, it's actually now running twice a week. So it's running Tuesday and Wednesdays. I think you mentioned this, but I'm going to reiterate. One day is for, it's a trauma-informed group. So if there was trauma in your history, that's a group you're interested in. And then there's a second group for folks with a brain injury, regardless of how it was sustained or what their history is like. So highly recommend you check it out. We're going to keep running them as long as we can because they've been so great and so successful. So thank you, Isabel, for bringing that to BIST, because it's not something we offered before you got here.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so I am one of the new faces, as we talked about in the beginning. So I'm Melissa Forrest, and I first came to BIST in the summer, just on a contract where I kind of started the program that Isabel was working on. I was initially the ABI Community Connections Coordinator, and I was connecting people to technology and Wi-Fi and other services. I'm now coming in as the Programs and Services Coordinator for BIST, and I also work as a peer support coordinator. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about some of our programs, but I'm just going to give Miss Madison a chance to just kind of chat a little bit about herself, and then we'll start talking about some of the groups that we run here at BIST.
Hi everyone, my name is Madison. I'm the program assistant at BIST for those who haven't met me before. I'd say I take an active role in the administrative and organizational piece here at BIST. I help in assisting and coordinating, as well as promoting now our online groups and programs such as the men's support group, women's support group, and workshops such as our mindful beating workshop. As well, I do provide support to all of our BIST staff, so whatever as needed. Melissa, our executive director, Mary, our communications manager, Laura and Isabel, our community coordinators, as well as our lovely new programs coordinator, Melissa Forrest. I sort of act as a communications person between all of our staff as well as our clients and members to ensure optimal advocacy and support. More so on like a more detailed description of my role is I help with contact management as well as program outreach, some social media, mail outs, data entry, resource finding. So right now I'm currently working on obtaining technology for our tech and device program. And yeah, so that's essentially what I do here at BIST, just to ensure that all of our members and clients stay connected through our email system. I also wanted to mention the warm line. I personally do not operate the warm line. However, our other BIST staff and lovely social work students do so. This is running between Monday to Friday, 12 to 4 p.m. And I just want to reiterate that it is not a crisis line. However, if you are in need of that kind of support, you'll see on the slide, there is a link on our website, bist.ca/resources-covid-19. There you can find different crisis resources, but we do most welcome and encourage you guys to call if it's for general resources, information, as well as, you know, just to call and chat and connect with someone We know that the pandemic has been tremendously difficult for everyone and continues to be. So please feel free to reach out and give the Warm Line a call. And the number is actually there on the slide. It's 416-830-1485. And again, it's from Monday to Friday, until 4 p.m.
Okay. So Schwain Folks is one of our other new members to BIST. Schwain came in to run our men's support group. So he is a social worker and he facilitates the online men's support group. Anyone who identifies as male is welcome to attend. There's different people who come in. It's more of a drop-in, relaxed kind of environment. I know that things like charades and other games are widely popular during men's group. And men's group runs the second Thursday of each month from 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock. And you can register for any of our programs at bist.ca/events, or you can go to the BIST website and click programs and the calendar will pop up and you'll be able to register for any of our programs. So even though Schwain couldn't come tonight, we still wanted to say a big welcome to Schwain, and he is fantastic.
And I also just wanted to include,
Yeah.
Melissa, sorry to interrupt, that the men's group is open to and all-inclusive to men of all ethnicities, all ages, as well as if you identify as gender and queer, that's including trans men, and if you identify as non-binary as well.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, and our women's support group, The Women's Support Group is a program that runs on the first and the third Thursday of each month. Runs in the evening from 6:30 until 8 o'clock. And it's facilitated by a woman named Robin, who is fantastic. She is also a social worker, and she runs. I actually was lucky enough to attend the last women's support group. So some people who are attending tonight may recognize me because I was able to sit in and meet some of you. And I've learned that Robin runs a wonderful group. And I really enjoyed it. So I know that anyone who is interested in attending a group that's specifically for women is welcome to register. And again, this one is open to anyone who identifies as female, including non-binary. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me at connections at bis.ca. And again, you can register online on our website, or if you need some support to do so, you can feel free to reach out and either myself or Madison will help you connect. Madison?
I have muted myself, sorry about that.
I thought so.
We also have the ABI support group available. This is facilitated by Anita Corsini. She is a social worker, and we also have it facilitated by Colleen Worsley, also a social worker as well. And the ABI support group is considered a mixed gendered group, and it is run between, the first and third Tuesday of the month between 6:30 to 8 p.m. And again, if you're interested, feel free to register with the link below. As well, you can contact Melissa Forrest for more details as well. We also have the peer-led caregiver support group available. So this caters to spouses and partners adults whose parents live with the effects of brain injury, adult siblings, parents and grandparents of adults with brain injury. And this is facilitated by one of our members with lived experience. And again, feel free to register with the link below, and you can also contact Melissa Forrest for more details.
And that peer-led support group runs on the last Wednesday on each month from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So one of the new programs is kind of on the horizon, and we're really excited about is our Punjabi speaking ABI support group. So this will be an ABI support group available for all ages, all genders, but it will be run in Punjabi, which is fantastic because I believe that BIST might actually be the very first Punjabi speaking ABI support group. I think even in Canada, but I'm not positive, but I think it might
Still
even
researching it.
Yeah, we gotta figure that
I
out. 'Cause
wanna
it'd be
know.
really nice to be able to shout that sentence out, don't you think? Yeah, so I'm very, very excited. And so keep your eye out because that is definitely coming up, along with some other groups that are kind of in the works. So yeah.
Sorry, Melissa, I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, go for it.
Because that's what I do.
Yes.
But just because the details for this group got finalized today, so you don't even have this information yet. It just got finalized. So it is going to start next month. It's going to be the last Thursday of every month from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And we have both a male and a female facilitator for the group. So
incredible.
So it's ready to roll. We'll start getting the promotion material out. We encourage you to share. And I know Melissa's going to ask for feedback for other groups that we can run, but this is kind of our pilot project because it is the first time BIST is able to offer a group in a language other than English. So we are quite excited about this program. Back to you, sorry.
Yeah, so if you're interested at all, feel free, please connect with me and I will make sure that you're able to attend. That's super exciting. I actually didn't know that. Melissa's right. So for today, I'm thinking it would be really nice to be able to have a little bit more of an informal kind of chat and discussion and maybe brainstorm some ideas that a lot of our members may be interested in seeing come from BIST. We're always open and always looking to grow and to provide access to all types of supports. And I think the best way to be doing that is to go to you as members, because you guys you guys know exactly what you need, right? And you know what you're into. I see Shwayne. Shwayne, would you like to just unmute and say hello?
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going? Hi, everyone. My name's Shwayne. Missed a little bit. I'm sorry about that, but here I am.
That's okay. So this is the face of Shwayne, and he runs our men's support group. And it's so nice to have you.
Did I miss a lot? I'm sorry.
No.
And then they did like a drive-by outside for her, so.
Yes, it's Shwayne's sister's birthday. So there was a big hurrah, and then Shwayne dipped out and came visit us anyway.
That I did.
Welcome to Team BIST, Shwayne. We were saying that, you know, it's sad that it's virtual, and I think this is the first time I'm actually seeing you because we've only chatted on the phone. That if you want to tell the BIST community a bit about you and your background, and so they know who you are when they come to the men's group to check it out.
Okay, sure. So my name's Shwayne, as you guys now know. I went to school in Minnesota. I have a degree in psychology and social work and a master's in social work. Currently run the men's social. I also work at Anchor Rehabilitation with individuals who have TBIs. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Shwayne. I'm so glad you got to stop in and introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm just going to open up the chat a little bit because I'm a little behind. Oh, look at all the welcomes to Schwain in the chat box. Okay, so there's a few different ways that we can do this. Like Melissa said at the beginning, you can feel free to use the chat feature. We can read out the questions or comments. You can raise your hand and you can unmute yourself and feel free to shout out an idea. Or we can unmute everybody and just have a really nice informal chat and brainstorm all together. It's whatever you feel comfortable with.
I apologize. I hadn't seen Carolyn join the group. When it's on my screen, I don't see. So welcome, Carolyn. And then
Oh,
Carolyn,
hello,
you want to give
Carolyn.
a quick couple of words about who you are and what you do at BIST?
Hi, I'm Carolyn Levsky. I'm a clinical neuropsychologist and clinical director at Cheers, and I am a board member. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm 1 year on the board.
Carolyn helps us a lot. We're working on things like our ABI Justice site, or when we're doing trainings, because we do a lot of trainings for the community around brain injury. Carolyn is the expert, not just on brain injury, but brain injury and substance use, and lots of other topics. So she's also our resident expert on many a things. That's quite the title. You should get a business card that says that.
That would be a long business card. Pretty awesome, though. Pretty awesome.
A business portfolio. It's
I'm trying to see, Melissa, are you able to unmute the members to see
Let me
if they want to
see.
just shout out some
Oh,
stuff?
yes,
if
I
they-
can. Let
All
me just,
If you don't want to be unmuted, you
No,
can
that's-
go back and mute
yeah.
yourself. But if folks are having a hard time figuring out how to unmute themselves like I would, Melissa can unmute you. And then if you have any ideas, any suggestions, and they can be, you know, when the world was open, BIST did a lot of trips in the community. So we went to the aquarium, we would go to Center Island. There was a boat cruise. So you can even put in ideas like that, what you would like to do with BIST when the world opens up, because we do, you know, serious kind of things like support groups and the rep program, but we also do really fun things because we like to have that balance in our life. So if there's something fun you'd like to do, whether it's virtually or, you know, put on the wish list for when the world opens up, we want to hear that too.
Graham, I see your hand is up.
Hi, Graham.
There we go. I think that might work.
Yeah, I guess
Perfect.
I had to give permission, although
Yes.
I'm not sure if I'm being seen or if I'm just being heard. So in any event, both as an idea and as I'm apt to do as a volunteer, I'm quite interested in combining my career-long training vocation, which includes online training, with introducing people to different types of artistic creation. And I've been doing art as therapy for the past 2 years. And while I offered to do art for people and then donate funds from that to BIST, I think there's an opportunity to just share knowledge, and that includes creating art digitally on something like an iPad if people have it. But you don't need anything special, including talent, to get a great deal of satisfaction, if not joy, while you're at home and I would love to see more and more people derive pleasure from art, with some possible suggestions and being able to answer questions.
Those are some really great ideas. I've actually written down all of your suggestions. There may be a little bit of an art themed kind of program coming up. So it'd be really nice to maybe sit down and try to figure out how to incorporate that as more of an online program, so that everybody could, I guess, explore art in different ways. I think digitally, if people have access to devices that allow for that, I think that that could be a really great way to have a low barrier way to have art expression.
It follows a few things. One, it can be a great source of relaxation, and you simply get lost in the process. If you're someone who, like myself, was a time traveler, as someone described it, where I was constantly upset about losing my former life or worried about what the future might hold. I was never in the present, but the idea when you're doing art, let's say you can only do 20 minutes or maybe an hour at a time, but that time flies by. And it isn't about the outcome, it's simply about the process. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense. I love art. I actually have a passion myself for art. So I identify with a lot of things that you're saying. And I know that some of our members are also either interested in art, have a history of being an artist, and they will probably say the same thing, that they can identify with some of those ideas. And truly, art is a process. Truly it is. And so, being able to, I guess, come together and develop relationships within the community from an art standpoint would be a really great way to even explore some of our feelings and some of those. You mentioned the duality of the before and the after, and art could be a really great way of expressing some of those ideas and concepts that we all need to kind of work through or express. And some people are really great verbally and able to say things with their words, and other people, it's easier for them to be able to demonstrate those feelings. And art, I think, would be a really great media for that.
It does that. The other thing, because I'm an advocate for BIST, and I keep coming up with ideas, whether they work or don't, to generate income for BIST. And one of the things I thought of, Mary, over the holidays was something that I've newly learned how to do, which is to create gift wrapping. So in looking at birthday, looking at holiday type gift wrapping, like Christmas for next year and so on, we could create various types of products, and supporters can then buy those products rather than maybe generic products, knowing that if it's for a child's birthday who has had a brain injury and the wrapping paper shows a teddy bear with a bandage around its head, hugging another stuffed toy. It's an idea of being able to normalize, but also give supporters opportunities to funnel more money towards all the good things that BIS does.
I actually love that idea. Mary, you were going to say something?
Oh, sorry. No, I just, because I've spoken to Graham before and I don't want to embarrass him, but I found the Facebook post where we featured some of his art. I don't know if you want me to share it, but yeah. And I mean, I think this is, these are like great, just really great ideas. And like the community at BIST is so creative and so skilled. Yeah, and I think everyone's agreeing that's a great idea.
Yep.
Mhm.
Do you feel comfortable with Mary sharing?
If I have any problem sharing, no, not so long as every share recoups $5 towards this programming. By all means.
I don't know if we can get people to do the $5, but
No.
here, I'll just quickly.
Okay.
But I love how you think.
The funny thing is, what I did in many cases, that's a watercolor that I did.
John Lennon.
Yeah,
and then
that was John Lennon. It's done in calligraphy. And so each one of those letters is done by hand. And that, among others, and I have animals and other things that I've done. This was sold as a print along with the watercolor of John Lennon that I did. I literally did a bonus item for the person who purchased that, and she loved both and then chose to donate more. The final thing I'll mention is I think both a discussion or exploration, unless this is being done already, but it's looking at what people can do from home as a post-ABI career. I've looked at things that you can do online, and it may well be for things like coffee money, but what it does is it's not making me a millionaire. I simply get value when I wake up on a Monday morning and know, oh, I have some art I can or am doing for someone. Or for instance, I learned over the holidays how to program Android boxes for people. It's painfully simple, but there are a lot of people who don't know how. And so again, showing members various ways that they can be active and ultimately that they can earn some part-time income with whatever time and effort they can dedicate. And thank you for your patience as I describe things slowly.
Not at all. You're very articulate, actually. So don't for a moment worry about that. And I think it helps too. If you're not speaking too quickly, it helps to allow for everyone else to really understand and visualize what you're trying to communicate. So I actually appreciate how the speed of the way that you speak is.
OK. Et n'oubliez pas que je peux faire ces programmes en français und ich kann auf Deutsch sprechen. Hey, Shawayne.
The German.
Hey. I was just gonna add something super quickly. I work for a nonprofit at some, and in the organization, they created their own little business. It was like a candle shop, and it was like for a homeless youth. So it gave them opportunity. I'll come in and learn business skills and get off the street and earn a little money. And then it gave the organization something to sell, like a product to sell to bring in income. So just adding on to your idea, maybe, who knows, that could be a possibility, because candles are pretty easy and engaging with members. So
yeah, I'm doing a variety of things like that now. But regarding the nonprofit, I wrote a book, which was a novel that focused on how to find a job without resorting to resumes and cover letters when you don't have a lot of experience. It was called The Asylum for the Criminally Unemployed. And it takes a humorous look at somebody who ultimately gets stuck in a scenario. This was before my accident, but isn't it silly when people send out resumes, they don't have a lot of experience, but to get hired, people want you to have experience. So to me, to keep sending out resumes and never getting any results, to do the same thing over and over and expect a change in results, I think somebody said that was the definition of insanity. So I used that as a launching board, wrote the novel, and ultimately show people how they can find work in very effective but very non-traditional ways. And I'd love to share that with youth or anyone who's suddenly looking at having to launch in a new career.
You idiots.
No. I think those are great ideas, Graham.
Yeah, I need to stop talking. I'm giving myself a headache.
That's okay. You can take a break if you need to.
Well, I say that because I'm hogging the line, but this is just a wonderful opportunity, and I thank you for allowing us to share.
You sound like a motivation speaker, eh?
He does. He does. Graham, you are very articulate, and I think that you're very inspiring to a lot of people. And it may feel like you're taking a lot of time, but I think you have a very captive audience.
It's such a joy because I used to love teaching in the classroom. And of course, that was part of what was taken away from me. But what it's done instead is it's turned me towards a new audience, because, for instance, based on reading, there are far too many people who face problems with the law, possible incarceration, reincarceration because of concussions, because of the symptoms of PCS. And the world needs not only better education, but better training. They need skill sets to be able to understand, communicate, and ultimately cope with a situation that they don't understand and ultimately mishandle. So I know there's an advocacy group through BIST for that, and it's just one of many, many important things that BIST is undertaking.
Thank you, Graham. Sorry, Melissa, do you mind if I just jump in
Not
for
at
2
all.
seconds? Graham, you brought up some really amazing points and ideas. And I just, while we're talking about art and creativity, I don't think we mentioned this when we were talking about our programs, but every year BIST runs an expressive art show. So pre-COVID, we would rent out a gallery space and
it's the
all
mask.
the, pardon me?
That's the mask one, right? And you,
Yeah, we did the mask one year. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're 100% right.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then one year we did it close to Trinity Bellwoods, and we at Artscape, and everyone's art was up for a week. But the piece was anyone who contributed art could sell their art. They weren't required to sell their art. BIST didn't take any money from it. All the money of any pieces that were sold went straight to the artists. And last year we did it again, but unfortunately it was virtual. But we're hoping to make it bigger and better this year on our virtual platform. So if you have art, you can start thinking about it, creating it now. Maybe we can do a bit of a workshop on art. But as we get closer to June, you'll be seeing Melissa and Mary putting out calls to the artists. And again, we will have
That's
the BIST
good.
platform available to sell your art. So you can
That
make a
was
bit of
good.
money. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
There,
Sounds good.
there, by the way, is various platforms online that allow people to, in 3D, essentially via laptop. You don't need to wear virtual reality goggles, but you can walk through an art gallery and see art on the wall, and it could maybe raise the virtual show in place to a new level.
I'll have to look for that because I'm really intrigued. And I think that something like that would actually remove some of the barriers that I was talking about earlier, because most people could access an online platform if they were set up. And so they could participate in an online program around online art. So I'm gonna have to look for that.
Well, what you can do, and we'll talk maybe offline.
Yes,
but
please.
You can actually, with your mouse or trackpad, move around the virtual gallery rooms. You can see other people in the gallery. You can see whatever name they've chosen to give themselves, and you can either talk or chat with them. So if I were standing in my area of the gallery, people could actually interact and talk to me about individual pieces and so on. I could see Melissa there. So it's really kind of fun, and it would be another feather in the BIST cap, because I don't think people are using the technology, virtual worlds, as much as could be used. So just a thought.
Yes, I would love to follow up and have a little chat with you at some point after today.
Okay.
I think that would be
Good.
great.
It's good.
Catherine, are you still here?
I am.
Okay, so Catherine, I noticed that in the chat, you had a little bit to say. I'm wondering, would you like to add anything? Any of your thoughts around? I know that you are quite the artist as well.
Me? How do you know that?
Oh, I just know things.
You know the thesis, do you?
I've spoken with you.
You have. I appreciate
have.
I don't know if I'm in the same category as that. I do photography.
Oh, lovely.
It's been a wonderful thing for me to fall back on after my head injuries. But I share my photos with those who are shut in mostly. And I do, yeah, I put together books for my grandchildren. You know what? I feel like I'm still just new. I'm not really in a huge community per se, since all this happened. So hearing Graham, etc., is very encouraging. And I'm meeting a lot of women who are so isolated, and the name Josie comes to mind, I think.
Yeah, okay.
But have no income. And so to hear this is amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you say that you're not from a big community, but this is kind of a community in itself, you know, and so it's really a nice space to be able to, practice and develop some of those skills and ideas, really build things together. I think that photography, to be honest, is, first of all, I think that photography is an art. It may not be a fine art. So when we think about art, it may not be the medium that we think about. But photography is very interesting too, because not only is it art, but it's also perspective, and it's how we see the world. And I think photography, I'm gonna write this down as an idea, because I think it could be a really great way to maybe explore some of the ways that we see our world, the way we see each other. You mentioned that you put together books for family members and for people who may not be able to go outside and experience what you're able to experience. So I think that there's some really interesting ideas there.
Yeah, I make my family, because of my mobility, it's great. I just have an imbalance. I just have an imbalance. But in order to be creative to enfold my family, because I'm the mom, and with adult kids don't always connect with what's happened to you, I take photographs around and make them hunt for them. So they have to be photos that connect with all the ages that are involved, so that everybody can be included. So I've done that a couple of times, but I have to go a bit far reaching to do all that, right?
Yeah. But I think we're onto something though. Maybe at some point we can chat about some ideas, and maybe that's something that you can bring to the community here at BIST in the future. Like Graham was talking about some of his arts and how he would like to, kind of have that platform, right? To be able to connect with people and use those skills that he values, like teaching. Perhaps this is something that you can use as, you don't necessarily have to lead. Don't feel like that. I know that that's not something you're comfortable at this point with, but something that you can bring to the BIST community and kind of teach and explore together and see what we can kind of create using using photography and images and storytelling, that visual storytelling.
It is a great-
Catherine,
Yes,
way
I
to
am.
go. I'm so excited and pleased to hear your voice. And do know that photography is art and it is a rare medium. Well done.
Thank you.
If
Nice to
that was a steak, it was supposed to mean I was trying to make a joke, but my sense of humor was better pre-accident too.
I think all our senses of humors were better pre-accident. Though they said they didn't think I could blame my sense of humor now on my accident.
Well, Stephen, all I can tell you is, you know, when I was pre-COVID going for sessions of rehab and so on in clinic rather than Zoom meetings, whenever I was in the waiting room and I saw people there every week and people that were in different parts of the building repeatedly, they were part of my community. They got me. And while I may be more of an alpha out there personality, I'd say hi. I'd say, you look fantastic today. I'd say, that's the ugliest sweater I ever saw. And of course, we'd all joke and laugh. And the main thing is, yes, we are a community. And so what if they don't get us? We get ourselves.
That's exactly right, Graham. And for the record, you'll learn this about me. I have 2 laughs. And one laugh is not one I'm proud of. It's kind of loud and a little obnoxious, and I can't stop myself. And then I have another laugh that sounds very much like an old motor that just won't start. And if you're not in front of me, sometimes you can't hear it because it will be a silent laugh. And so you will sometimes, if you ever get the not working motor silent laugh from me, that's my "you are hysterical" laugh. And so even though you didn't hear it, as you were talking, I actually did my hysterical laugh. So I got your joke, but you just couldn't hear me laugh because my laugh is only for stray dogs.
Well, yeah, that, and not everyone has puns as part of, I guess, their quiver of jokes that they find endearing. But it's just so nice to be doing this interactively as well tonight, because it creates that interactive sense of community.
Yes. Yes, I completely agree. I'm actually very thankful to have this opportunity to be able to have such a, I guess, a long period of time where we're just able to openly talk and discuss with no real, schedule. It's really nice to be able to just kind of chat, because you're right. We are a community, and one thing that I really love about BIST is that BIST really is, a very close-knit, tight community of people who are just incredible. You know, everybody has, you know, such huge personalities, you know, and so much that they bring to the table. You know, I've learned more from BIST members than I think that I've learned from anyone else. In any job or in any life experience that I've had, I genuinely love the BIST community. You know, and so I really want to, like, as a, I guess having the privilege, to be honest, of being able to have some type of control over programming and services and how we support people, is really nice to be able to, you know, go down and, you know, start the wheels turning, right? And get to know everybody, get to know where people want their community to go. What do you want your community to look like? You know, because, you know, BIST is not, it's not really an organization. On paper, yes. But in reality, BIST is not an organization. BIST is a group of people. And we all kind of work together and we figure out, you know, what our climate looks like and what do we want our landscape to look like? You know, what do we want to do? What do we want to learn? You know, and those things change consistently throughout months and years. And so what's really nice about BIST is that you have that opportunity to be dynamic and to change and to flow and to be able to connect one-on-one with people and to be able to have, you know, some assimilation of control and power within your own experience, which I think is incredible. And so I really want to encourage, you know, I know that some people it's easier for them to talk. Some people it's more challenging to talk, especially in this type of environment. But I really want to encourage people to, you know, come to me or to any member of BIST and, you know, just throw ideas out and really talk and, you know, rebuild that sense of community that, you know, is really lacking in this, you know, pandemic environment, you know, because the community is still here, right? It just looks so different.
I would like to take another moment to express myself and
Yes.
the similarity of ideas or experiences that the first person who has developed RAP encountered. I too encountered the same experiences, and there was nothing that could be done to help me. And so I sat and I stewed for years and years and years and developed the thing where you just get better by having discipline and a sound mind to do your activities of daily living well and multitask them. One of my favorites has been cooking banana bread and doing laundry at the same time. Not too much significant skills with either of those things. Doing them together is more difficult. And this is the root of multitasking. So I have a difficulty with people saying, oh, it's too late for you. You never go back to work. Never do anything with your life. When the basics are do your activities of daily living, concentrate on them, and you will get better. For instance, you're bad with coordination and balance. You do your dishes every day, do dishes. Wash and dry by hand. Fold your clothes. You cook, multi-course meal. Chop the vegetables. Chop your own vegetables. Don't buy the frozen ones all chopped for you. Just relax and do your activities of daily living well. In my book, I outlined some methods to do this. It's some of the basic things are very simple. If you want to get better at walking, first you have to get out of your wheelchair, stand. Then you take a few steps and use a walker. Then if you're like me, you need to get walking more and more. Then you can start to run. Then after that, you start to run more and more until you're addicted to that. But that helps also with multitasking. Running is a great thing. Cardio is a great thing for multitasking. I'll finish there.
Encouraging.
Very much so. And just, you know, I mean, you talk a lot, Stephen, about, you know, just kind of putting your head down and focusing on the task at hand, and, you know, that repetition and practice, you know, which is that, I mean, that's the basis of therapy, essentially. Like, you know, whether it be occupational or physical, it's that routine and practice, you know, and it's a really great way to look at that in terms of all of those activities of daily living that, you know, we find challenging after a brain injury. And whatever, you know, steps you can, you know, reach, you know, whether that be a little bit at a time or a lot at a time. And sometimes, you know, we go for long spans where there's no change, but just continuing on that journey, I think, is really healthy.
It's important also. Mind, like you say, it's healthy. People want to put you out to pasture, and there's no cause for that at all. People want to say, oh, he's useless, let's give him a lot of money and make him go away.
Yeah, and that's not how, I mean, that's not helpful for anyone, you know. And so the nice thing about this is that you never feel that way, because there's always a space for you. You know what I mean? So I really like that. You know, again, I mean, you're sitting and you have this platform where you're able to really kind of impart personal knowledge, you know, in a very respectful way that does not demean or degrade anyone. It actually makes them feel inspired, which is really nice.
Sorry, Melissa, I just want to jump in with a second, because this is a time, as Melissa mentioned, where we're getting ideas and talking about BIS programs. And traditionally, the community meetings used to be a place where we would come and have some time to socialize, and then we would have a speaker talk about a different topic, and then we'd have questions and answers, and that was kind of how it ran in person. Certainly not the way we need to continue doing it. If people find that this is of value, where we leave, you know, the half an hour either at the beginning or the end of the meeting, just to have time to chat and bring up these ideas that Graham and Stephen are talking about. If you want to just maybe raise your hand or put in the chat box or send Melissa an email, we can do a poll so we can leave time like this to chat. So it's not always just about having somebody talk about a topic and ask questions related to that topic. We could certainly schedule more free time like this, just because the world right now doesn't allow us to have those natural, spontaneous conversations in person that we're used to.
I think that's a great idea, Melissa. Thank you. I know we're running out of time. It's been, I mean, this has been a really great opportunity for everybody to sit down and get to know each other, especially for myself, because I am one of the newer members, and Shwayne, who I believe is still here. And so it's been really, really nice. But we do have to kind of close out. I really want to encourage you, like Melissa said, if this is something that you think would be really beneficial to have that opportunity, just some time to kind of talk about some of your ideas or some of your thoughts, please feel free to email me or give me a call. And like Melissa said, if you go into the chat box, or if you kind of wiggle your mouse around the screen, a little thing will pop up, and it'll have a raise hand button. And that would be a good way for us to just kind of quickly take a look at how many people would feel like that's something that they would be interested in the future. Lots of hands. Thank you so much, everyone.
And thank you, Melissa. I would say your first community meeting as programs coordinator was a success.
Thank
well
you.
Done. Thank you for coordinating all of this.
I create some, what do we call it? Like cardiovascular exercise before, and then it's, and then it's an interpretive dance.
Thanks so much for inviting me. I haven't been to a community meeting before. It was really nice to see how they run and to meet some folks. So thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I have to say the same. It's really nice to connect with everybody, especially when we're all stuck at home. So thank you for having me as well.
And it's nice to see faces finally as well. It's really nice to be able to, I mean, like I know I've spoken to a bunch of people and I haven't been able to see anyone yet. So it's been really nice to be able to connect that face. All right. So I'm never good at saying goodbye. But technically it is 8 o'clock. And so our community meeting is technically, we're kind of at the end. If you want, we can end off with just kind of saying, so in my tradition, in my culture, we say Bamapi. And Bamapi is not goodbye. Bamapi means like until next time, like see you soon, right? And so I feel like this isn't a goodbye. This is just kind of a until next time, because I'll be talking to you all very shortly. So for now, Bamapi. And thank you so much for attending today's meeting.
Bamapi.
Everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.